Touch Dilek, welcome to Tibet TV's program on Tibet support groups. The International Campaign for Tibet is an international human rights organization and was founded in 1988. As the world's largest Tibet organization, it has offices in USA, Netherlands, Belgium, and Germany. In today's edition of Introducing Tibet Support Groups, we will discuss about International Campaign for Tibet, Germany, with its Executive Director, Kai Müller. Welcome to Tibet TV, Kai Müller.
Thank you for having me.
So, could you tell our audience the genesis of International Campaign for Tibet, Germany, and its workings?
Well, as you said, we are part of the International Campaign for Tibet internationally. We have been set up in 2002, so almost 20 years ago, and have been working ever since here in Berlin. Our focus is on advocacy towards the German government and towards media and research. And also we have taken up the role of coordinating ICT's overall work towards the United Nations in Europe, in Geneva particularly, and in Paris, Human Rights Council and UNESCO. So we are here working in an office with currently six full-time staffers. So this is our current position.
Sir, if I now ask you specifically, what are the major activities of your organization in Germany, and how is the response from public?
Well, we have been working towards the German public since 2002, and we have gained the support of, in the meantime, more than 15,000 German citizens here who support the cause of Tibet in a variety of matters. We are seeking support distinctively for our political work, for our human rights work, for the Tibetan people, and this has gained a lot of support here, which we are quite happy about.
Sir, how successful have you been in making the government of Germany take stand for Tibet over the years?
Well, success may be a wrong term here. We are never quite content or satisfied, if you will, with the German government's response, because obviously Germany has got a lot of interest economically in China, which restricts its human rights policy and its policy toward Tibet and freedom and justice in Tibet. Obviously, as it is the case with so many other countries, unfortunately, we are trying to address these issues. We are trying to push the German government and the German parliament, the political parties, towards a more assertive stance towards the issue of Tibet, not just the human rights situation, I should say, but also towards a just and fair solution on the basis of His Holiness Dalai Lama's ideas and proposals for the future of Tibet. So the German government is, in essence, interested and sympathetic towards the cause of Tibetans. As you know, German Chancellor Angela Merkel has met His Holiness the Dalai Lama already some years ago in 2007, and has yet continuous interest in the issue of Tibet. But we hope it could be more. We state it can be more can be done, and that's what we are pushing for. And that's basically our task. That's what we do.
Sir, we all are aware that China's pressure is everywhere. Under such a situation, how do you still manage to meet the aims and objectives of your organization?
Well, certainly it requires patience and perseverance. Certainly, if you look just currently that Mars rover by that same name, I think it's very fitting for our cause. It's perseverance that's needed, because change is not to be achieved in a short period of time. But particularly, I should say, with our German history as German citizens, with our recent history, 1989, 1990, winds of change may come unexpectedly, and nobody in our country, in my country, presumed the Berlin Wall, for example, to be demolished so quickly. So this is something that we need to bear in mind. Things may not look as set in stone as we may perceive it, and that's what we need to bear in mind. We want to persevere, we want to be patient, and also that's what the Tibetans in Tibet rightfully deserve: international solidarity and our commitment for a just solution for the issue of Tibet, because it's an injustice that is simply unacceptable.
Sir, as you are aware that Tibetan freedom movement is based on non-violent path, to succeed Tibetan freedom movement, how important do you think is the role of middle-way approach which caters a win-win situation?
Well, I think first of all, it is important to address the issues in terms of repression and persecution of Tibetans in Tibet, and the injustices that do exist and have actually gone worse over the past, let's say, 10, 15 years. But it is also important to provide a constructive future perspective for any such conflicts and issues, because this engages people, engages supporters, and also I think it's morally more appealing, because His Holiness has achieved to paint a promising future for Tibet, and one that, as you say, can offer a benefit for all parties involved, if you will. The Chinese people can benefit from a peaceful solution of the Tibet issue, and of course foremost the Tibetan people. But it is something that is proposing mutual benefit, and that is something that is very important in our world of today, where conflict and adversarial behavior is all over the world, in small and larger conflicts. If you look at the Middle East or in other European areas such as Ukraine, it's conflict, it's adversarial behavior without real commitment for a mutually beneficial solution of conflict. And that's something that is the promise of His Holiness' approach for Tibet. And we hope that the world and the world community understands better, I think, the promise that is lying within this approach. So this is something we support, and but it is clear it is not an easily achieved goal, and it needs, as said, perseverance, maybe much more as in many other areas. It is a challenging task, but I think it's a worthwhile goal to pursue, and that's what we try to communicate here towards the German public, towards the German government, the German parliament. This is something constructive. This is something forward-looking. This is something different to how we in this world are used to resolving conflicts.
Okay, sir, before we wind up our discussion, I would like to ask you a very important question. His Holiness the 14th Dalai Lama is revered as peace icon in the world. So, sir, how relevant do you think is his message on peace, love, and compassion?
I think it is very relevant, because as far as I understand, His Holiness not just looks at peace between peoples, countries, but also he looks at inner peace and peace between us as human beings. And I think if we look on our social level here in Europe, the divide between people, between camps of people, the division in societies, if one looks at North America, for example, at the United States, but the same phenomena are being observed here in Europe. There is a lot of division that creates conflict and the state of non-peace. And this is something that should be really looked at more closely and paid more attention to. So I think this message of His Holiness is very relevant, not just for countries and governments, but also for us as human beings.
Thank you so much, sir. With this, we're going to end our discussion here. I would like to thank you for joining our program. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you for having me.